Bearcats fans, what's going on? This is Neil Meyer.
And Justin Summers with Front Office News.
We are here giving you guys the recap of the annual Crosstown Shootout here at the Cintas Center. The Bearcats fell 83-63 tonight here at Cintas Center to a very good Xavier team. Xavier threw a lot at the table tonight, and the one thing that really stood out was the performance of Jack Nungy, who had a career-high 31 points, 15 rebounds, shot 11 from 15 from the free throw line. Overall, Jack Nungy just had one of those nights where he just dominated all over. But overall, the Bearcats just got off to a slow start. And that's really what happened, was a slow start. They really kicked alive late in the second half. But outside of that, it was just too late in the game to really come back for it. Justin, what did you see?
Neil, I saw overall that Xavier just was a better team today. Xavier got off to a quick start. They made their shots when they needed to, and they got the momentum that they needed early on. This crowd was electric. I mean, being a Cincinnati fan, I knew that they would be a loud arena tonight, and they came out and they showed it. I mean, it was electric here. Xavier, they got off to, like I said, a really quick start. It seemed like they were up early, 5-0 early, and then, it was playing catch up for Cincinnati. I think that David DeJulius, got off to a quick start early, and then trying to feed the ball inside and got him a little bit behind. And I think the point to where they didn't continue to try to feed the ball inside and they kept shooting threes. UC just couldn't make any shots today. It seemed like they were struggling from, everywhere they shot the ball. I think in the first half they finished at a 31% clip. That's not going to win you games against big teams like Xavier today. I think Cincinnati also were, they were having a lot of trouble defensively. They got in a lot of foul trouble that they really played momentum in this game. I think that the foul trouble really ended up screwing the plans of Wes Miller today. And I mean, shout out to Wes Miller for, after the game, to come out and talk, 15 minutes after the game and just state the fact that, he didn't prepare himself and he didn't prepare his team, took full blame, and I really respect that out of a coach. But overall, I mean, Travis Steele and his team played really good. Like Wes Miller said, they're going to be a top 15 team. I think that this team's really good. Xavier is going to be a very talented team this year. And I think that just overall, the Bearcats just were having trouble, getting momentum. Once you fall behind double digits, it's kind of hard to make a comeback at a, hostile arena like this one. Neil, what did you see?
Honestly, one of the main things that really stood out to me was the rebounding. Going into the second half, Xavier out-rebounded us 23-15, which not an 8 plus or minus 8 on the rebounds is a big thing, considering Jack Nungy in the first half had 14 points, 9 rebounds, and then to finish the night with half of those rebounds coming on the offensive end. That's huge. And honestly, we could see it. Odie got into some foul trouble early as he only played 7 minutes, finished with, ended up fouling out in those 5 minutes, or 7 minutes. So honestly, I think once you see a guy who is a high battery guy like Odie get into some foul trouble, obviously early on, that obviously probably changed the game plan for Coach Miller and the Bearcats. But Victor Locken had a great night, finished with 8 points on 4 of 8 shooting. And he really provided the energy early in the first half as he had back-to-back possessions with easy layups. But the Bearcats continued to, or really kind of like shied away from that going inside aspect. But outside of that, Xavier really just dominated tonight, and they showed why they were the better team on tape and here tonight at Cintas Center. Like Coach Miller said, and as Justin mentioned, this Xavier team, they're going to be a top 10, top 15 team in the country this year. They have every piece to make a deep run, and they're a senior-oriented lead. Paul Scruggs is now the only player in Xavier history to beat the Bearcats 4 times. But it's not only that. Paul Scruggs is what makes this team go around. And he has been through this atmosphere, this rivalry, for the last 5 years. But on top of that, he's what holds this team together. And Zach Fremantle had early foul trouble, ended up getting 2 technicals and getting tossed from this game late in the game. Outside of that, he's coming off a 24-point night, and really, this Xavier team is dominant. They have two very good bigs down there, and with the Bearcats' size, we thought maybe we could see a matchup and play better, but early foul trouble really limited that. So outside that, Xavier just dominated on the inside glass and the interior, and really the bench points, I think, finishing off the game with almost 50 bench points. Jack Nungy didn't even start tonight. So he came in, finished 31 points, all of them off the bench, and that's a huge stat limit. And then you see a team like Xavier shoot 30-something free throws a game compared to the Bearcats only 11. You add that, and that's another big thing. The Bearcats were shot roughly about 55% from the free throw line compared to Xavier when they shot about 82%, I believe it was, where they went 27 for 31, I believe, 27 for 33, something like that. But that's a huge stat difference. As long with the rebounds and the free throw line, those are the two big takeaways that I have taken away from this game. But like Justin mentioned, this is a hostile environment, and it shows, like Coach Steele mentioned in that post-game interview, this is the best rivalry in all of college basketball. And I think everyone has shown that, considering it's only not even 3 miles apart. The fans brought it. Xavier really brought the energy tonight, and it showed. And Xavier played well at home, and it played out very well in their favor tonight.
Oh yeah, and I think one more thing that we need to hit on is that it was talked about in the press conference. I think that Xavier had a very good game plan against Cincinnati's offense tonight. Travis Steele brought out the zone defense very early against the Bearcats, and he was throwing everything out. Like, credit to Travis Steele. Like, obviously we're Bearcats over here, but the fact of the matter is that we'll give credit where credit's due. And then Travis Steele and the Xavier Musketeers played a hell of a ball game today. They did everything that they possibly needed to do to, get their lead and show, Cincinnati who was the home team tonight. Obviously, the zone defense, but it seemed like every single defensive, they went zone press, zone, just overall zone. They went man coverage.
They went to 2-2-1, which UC hasn't seen much of.
Yeah, 2-2-1. I mean, Xavier just threw everything at them that they possibly could, and Cincinnati just couldn't, unfortunately, find any momentum. It seemed like when they would get a big shot, Xavier would come right back down and make another shot. So overall, I mean, it was two very tough teams coming into today, and obviously Cincinnati was credited for their defense, but Xavier, they had a great game plan today, and they were the better overall team today. So, I mean, credit Xavier, credit the Bearcats. They tried their best, but Xavier was the better team overall in the end.
And Justin mentioned the Xavier defense. Bearcats came down, had 4 straight stops, but they just couldn't capitalize on offense, and that was the turning point. You had defensive stops to start the second half, but just couldn't capitalize on it early in the second half. And if you capitalize on maybe 2 of those 4 possessions, no one ever knows. It could have been a different ball game. So
definitely. Well, that will be it for the recap today, Bearcats fans. Bearcats do fall to 7-3 today with an unfortunate loss to Xavier. Final score of 83-63. Bearcats will be back home on Tuesday, where they welcome in Florida A&M for hopefully a bounce-back game for the Bearcats. Like I said, credit where Bearcats are giving credit. Xavier played a great game, and overall, hopefully next year will be a different story for these Bearcats. But me and Neil, we are signing out.